Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you to the second webinar from a series dedicated to our newly launched product called Tempo Integration. My name is Barbara Kolasowska, and I'm a product owner here at OnPoint Services. In the following webinar, we will show you how to set up the integration using the setup wizard we designed for you. As the content of the webinar is going to be slightly more technical than the previous session, just be aware that it's mainly targeted at technical users and system admins. Also, since the integration is established through a single Jira account, just make sure that this account has access to all projects, issues, and worklogs you plan to work with when using the integration. Having a simple setup so that every customer is able to set the product by themselves is one of the core features of most of our products. So, okay, let's start. As you can see, I'm already sharing my screen. We just need to access the setup wizard. You can find it either through the search line but it's also accessible in the assisted setup section of the Business Central. So this is the first screen of the setup wizard. There's nothing too important there. We can just skip it. And here you can see the first part of the settings you will need to fill in order to set up the Tempo integration. This part of the settings is related to some default values the Tempo integration requires from you in order to create your project journals and project journal lines properly. That's the case of the first field, where you're going to set up your project journal template. We recommend you to set this value up just once during the setup process so that your employees' worklogs are downloaded to your Business Central in an optimal way. The other two fields are related to the automated resource creation flow you can enable and disable using this toggle button here. This feature can be very useful because not always all your Jira employees exist in your Business Central, so we recommend you to leave these button turned on. And now let's go back to the other two default values. The second field is related to the default unit of measure the integration works with. Since the hour is the core unit of measure of our solution, you can leave it set to hour. And the third field is the general product posting group. Your resources are going to have pre-filled when created automatically, so this value can be filled in according to any value relevant for your company. And we are slowly getting to more complex parts of the setup process. This screen is related to authentication methods. So let me stop here for a moment, as there are two different authentication methods the Tempo integration supports or you can work with. The first one is called the authentication by token insertion. You can enable it by switching these two toggle buttons off. This method is more simple to set up than the second one. But then the authentication tokens needs to be renewed every 3 months, and also this method is or will be soon deprecated on Jira's side. So that's the reason why we recommend you to use this authentication method only in case you need to test our solution or you've only just begun exploring the features. But for everyday use in production environment, we recommend you to work with the other method. The other method is called, or we call it the authentication by user consent, but you may also know it under the name of the OAuth2 authentication. This method is more secure, and the tokens are being renewed automatically. But then it's also more complex to set up. The main principle is the creation of so-called apps in both Jira and Tempo. In these apps, you generate the IDs or keys the setup wizard requires from you. You then copy them to it, and after that you need to grant consent to both of these apps respectively, using the actions or buttons we designed for you. So let's explore this method in more details in the next section of the setup wizard. In the following steps, we are going to configure your connection to Jira and Tempo. We can start with the redirect URI. That's something your browser needs to know so that it is able to redirect you somewhere during the authentication process. It always comes in the following format. So it begins with the URL address of your business central web client. It's followed by your tenant ID and the environment name. It's important to mention that it should always be finished with this suffix /oauthlanding.htm. If you're unsure about the correct format, you can find it in the tooltip here. So let me just quickly copy some valid information for you there. Okay, we should be good. And now we can move to the following step, where we are going to set up the connection to your Jira instance. So we can start with the first value here, the Jira base URL. It's the URL address of your company's Jira. So let me just copy a valid value here, and we can move to the next two values, the Jira client ID and the Jira client secret. In order to get these two keys or values, we will need to configure your Jira app. So let me just switch my screens so that I can show you where you can find the configuration. So you should now see the Atlassian developer portal. So it's available under this address, developer.atlassian.com. And to create your app, you need to go to your user in the upper right corner of the screen and go to the developer console. Here you will see all your apps, if there will be more, and for now we just need to create a new one. So let's just click the create button, and here you need to select the OAuth 2.0 integration option. So let's select that. Now you will be asked to name your app. So let's just come up with something. And you need to agree to Atlassian's developer terms. So let's do that and click create. Okay, and now we're in the configuration menu of your Jira app. So I'm going to guide you through all the steps in the side menu here. I think that you don't need to actually configure anything in the first two tabs. In the distribution tab, you just need to verify if the distribution status is set to not sharing, but it should be a default setting, so it should be already preset. And now we can move to the next tab related to permissions. We need to grant to your Jira app some permissions so that it can successfully authorize and you can access your Jira data from your Business Central. So to do that, you need to find the right API name and the value you're looking for is the Jira API here. And now we are going to add the permissions by clicking add and configure. And to actually add the permissions, you need to click the edit scopes button. And you need to select the view Jira issue data and view user profiles. And that's all. Click save. And that's all for the permissions tab. We can move to the authorization, where you will need to copy the redirect URI address we've just configured together in the previous step. So let me find the value for you. Okay, that's it. Click Save Changes. And now we can move to the last and the most important part called Settings. And the only thing that interests you here are the two values we've just created. So you need to copy them to your Business Central setup wizard. So let me just switch the screens again. Okay. Yeah, you should see the setup wizard now. So this is the Jira client ID we created, and let me copy the Jira client secret for you. And that's it. That's all you need to do for the Jira connection setup part. And now we can move to the Tempo connection setup. You can see that it requires the same two values we created for the Jira app, the Tempo client ID and Tempo client secret. So now we will need to create our Tempo app. I'm going to switch my screens again. Okay, so to create your Tempo app, you need to go to your Jira instance and search for the Tempo plugin in your apps dropdown. Once you're there, look for the settings. So you need to click the cogwheel icon in the left side menu, and you will need to configure your data access. So look for the appropriate section and click the OAuth 2.0 applications. And similarly to the previous configuration, you just need to create a new app in this step. So click the corresponding button. Again, you will be prompted to name the application. So let's use the same name here. Again, you will need to create the redirect URI, so it's still the same value we already used twice. Okay, and the client type should always be set to confidential. The authorization grant type can be left as is, set to authorization code, and now you click create application. And now you are shown the two values you need to copy again to your setup wizard. So I'm going to switch the screens one more time. And now I need the other value, the client secret. So let's do that here. Okay, and that's all you need to do for the configuration of the connection to your tempo. Now we can move to the last part of this section, and that's the configuration of the tempo account field, because you need to tell to the tempo integration where to look for the value of the tempo account in your Jira project. This step is automated. Just be aware that to be able to pull in the corresponding ID or value of your tempo account field, you need to first authorize your Jira and tempo access. So let's click the corresponding actions we prepared for you. Okay, and now a pop-up window should appear. Okay, here's the pop-up. You can see that the app we created in your Jira is requesting access to your Atlassian account, and here you will see the two permissions we granted to your app. And now you just need to accept. And let me quickly switch back to the Business Central, where you should see this notification that the authentication was successful. Now we need to do the same thing for the Tempo app. So click the Authorize Tempo action. Again, a pop-up window should appear. Let me show it to you. Yeah, here it is. So here you just need to click Authorize Access and onwards. And after that, you should see the same notification or confirmation message in your Business Central that the authentication was successful. You click OK. And now you can finally pull in the number of your Tempo account using the action under these three dots. So let's just click it, and you should see the number of your Tempo account. So that's all you need to know for setting up the connection to your Jira and Tempo. Just be aware of the fact that you need to authorize Jira and Tempo in order to be able to pull in the number of your Tempo account, and that's it. And the next section is not mandatory for you to fill in. but we recommend you to go through this step anyway, as by doing our automated connection tests, you can make sure that the connection between all three systems has been established correctly. So to do your test, you just need to enter one of your existing Jira project keys and relevant Tempo account key. So you need to find, ideally you need to find a Tempo account that's being used within the project you filled in above. So yeah, that's it. And now you can run the tests. If each line is filled with a green OK, that means that the correction is, that the connection is established correctly, and you can proceed to the next step. If there's an error, you'll get a red error message that should help you or your partner or us to troubleshoot and to solve the problem. Okay, so let's move to the next and the last part of the setup process. And now we got to the last part of the setup process. This part is related to job queue entry, as your work logs are going to be downloaded through job queue entry to your Business Central. We try to make things easier for you and pre-configure the job queue entry completely. But first you can define how long you would like to keep the previous month's period open by filling a value here to the next period starts field, because quite often you need to do some corrections and last minute adjustments to your data before you bill your client. So we thought this feature would be useful for you. Let's give you a short example. Let's say it's the 25th of October, and you would like to keep your October's period open until the 10th of November. So let's just set this value to 10, and that's it. And now we can move to the part where we will create the job queue entry for you. To do that, you just click on the corresponding button, and you can see that the corresponding or the relevant job queue entry is completely pre-configured. The only thing you need to do is to set its status to ready. Of course, you can change the values here according to your needs, but essentially it should be ready to use as is. Okay, and that was the last step in the setup process of the Tempo integration. Before we wrap up the webinar, just two quick notes. For you, be aware that you need to go through this setup process for each company where you plan to use our Tempo integration. In this case, you can use the same IDs and credentials and URLs, but if you plan to use the integration in multiple environments, you need to configure new IDs and credentials each time. That brings us to the end of our webinar. In case you have any questions related to the setup or the solution itself, Are you interested in a demo? Do not hesitate to contact us at info@onpointserve.com. The entire process is also described in detail in the documentation we're going to share with you after the webinar. I'd like to thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at one of our upcoming sessions.